My guest for today is renowned Cebuano figure, Councilor Joel Garganera, or Panday.
Panday.
We get into a candid talk, delving into his humble roots, his history, and many relevant topics. Councilor, anything?
Yeah, yeah, good. No, I was able to also walk Mike from
Yeah,
where I started, and it's nice also to revisit my past. So as I look back, yeah, it's a wonderful past, and I'm looking forward also for a beautiful future here.
okay. Thank you, and I hope you take something from this episode. Take care. Afternoon, Councilor Joel. It's good to see you
Good
after
afternoon.
some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for accepting this invitation. And I just wanted to catch up with you and get into a conversation. Also wanna get to know you more, your humble roots. So first off, how's Cebu doing? How's the work? What's new with Cebu?
Well, perhaps the last time was it was during pandemic, or
Yeah.
I was really at the helm of it. And right now, good Mayo, we're doing good. We're on the direction of recovering, especially after Odette. And yeah, aside from the usual traffic, everything is good.
Yeah. Okay. Current traffic is really
Yeah,
bad.
and also we just came from uh, uh, from a long drought. No, ever it's like the longest drought for the last 10 years. No, and right now we're experiencing rainy season, but still it's very humid. It's still very hot. So
Medyo extreme, no? Sa
extreme
init
init.
kayo, sa grabe sa ang uwan. So, what are some development plans for Cebu, particularly infrastructure? Because I know Cebu is an old city, then the roads are narrow. Is there anything we can do to address the road issue? Because it's very tight everywhere.
Well, right now, aside from the BRT, no, which is takes takes million of years, no. But I just like to share something. The BRT, which is a mass transport, supposedly that is used to connect multiple local government units, because the original design of it was from Talisay going to Mandaue. That's a that's a 21-kilometer stretch, because that's really the essence of a mass transport, how fast you can carry people from one area to the next, no. But it seems it was around 30 years ago, our leaders there of of Talisay, Mandaue, and Cebu City, did not come up with a common kind of mass transport. While Mandaue and Talisay opted for train or LRT, the mayor of Cebu opted for a bus, which is the BRT. So I don't know what happened, but right now the 21-kilometer, instead of extending to Mandaue and Cebu and Talisay, it's now inside the jurisdiction of the city, and that's now the basis of the BRT. So I don't look too happy with that, because that did not address the issue on, you know, you're supposed to spread, development, and mass transport is one uh, reason that we can we can spread development as well as the residential area. But right now, when you talk about roads, SRP is now trying to open 4 or 5 outlets or avenue that could connect to the mainland, and that's ongoing right now.
Yeah, daghan man development karon no sa SRP, Invest, a lot of movement down south.
Well, down south, yeah, Philinvest not much on the 40-hectare joint venture agreement. No. Uh, that's one. Perhaps I could say that that's one that is grossly disadvantageous to the city. No, it's on our fourth. It's on our fourth phase. But do you know that for the last 15 years, the three phase, which is 10 hectare per phase, we only earned 2.4 billion. So that's 2.6 billion. So that's approximately a little over 8,000 pesos per square meter. So when you talk about development, I think the city is seems to be not taking advantage of it. But right now in the SRP area also, we have the arena, which could house something like 16,000. So that will be one avenue where we could host international sports like Jones Cup and the likes. No, so that will be the next big thing, because we're not only that sports tourism, and that's one thing that is lacking in Cebu City.
What else can we expect? Because the latest kay, di ba, is CCLEX and New Star. Any other big projects in store? Or a fourth bridge, perhaps?
Well, the fourth bridge is somewhere in Lapu-Lapu and parts of Mandaue. So they make the travel time going to Liloan shorter. But insofar as Cebu City is concerned and the south, I believe CCLEX is the big thing right now, and there this plan that there will be another road from Sisilek going to Virama, and then that's on the work. But right now, City Council or Cebu City Government haven't received yet the feasibility study or the plan for it. But I've heard that the Pangilinan are also interested and quite into that direction.
Okay. Delving more into your humble roots, what made you decide to get into public service?
Actually, I just graduated from UP at the time, taking up pol sci, and I was enrolled into law. And at that time, in 1989, were you born then?
That's my birth year.
Yeah, because your classmate Heinz was my godson. Yeah,
Batchmate.
yeah, you're your batchmate. Anyway, in 1989, there was a barangay election. And the barangay election there was collegial system. So in other words, everybody runs for barangay councilor. And the candidate that will garner the top vote will automatically be the barangay captain. And I was 21 then, and that's how I became a barangay captain. No, I was really not ready for it because I'm still a student at the time, taking up law, and that's a very big responsibility. And I must say, I was not able to fulfill what my father wants me to be, which is to become a lawyer. And I
But you finished your law studies.
no, I did not finish my law, because right there and then, after serving like almost a year, I was good in my law years, but then typhoon Typhoon Ruping came in,
1990,
and there were 4 months of no water, and I was at the helm in delivering services. So I must say I stopped, and then right after that I was lucky enough to be sent to Japan as a JICA scholar, exposed to their social welfare services in Japan, and then when I came back, I stopped actually. So. When my father died in 1994, that's one thing, that's a very big burden on me, that I wasn't able to fulfill his promise. But then again, when my daughter passed the bar, the day after, I asked her to accompany me to the cemetery, and I said, okay, bawi na ko, okay na ta. Okay na ko, bayad na ko sa kong utang.
Okay. But you're really a Cebuano, true blue Cebuano.
I was born here. All my siblings, we were all born here, but my parents are from Leyte, and they met in Cebu, and they got married, and since birth I live here.
What was your childhood like growing up?
Oh, growing up in Barangay Tinago, that is a port area and heritage also. Well, I walked going to Santo Niño. I was, di ako eskwela sa Santo Niño. So I walked, that's only like less than a kilometer distance every day. Growing up, just like anybody else there. Sometimes, we have friends. We've been selling newspapers also, but not much selling newspapers, collecting junk items because there are a lot of machine shops in the area. And I really started early, quite early, because I was elected also as the chapel president in Bagumbayan. It's the biggest, one of the biggest sitio in Barangay Tinago. So at an early age, I was into service already. And perhaps that propels me when I ran for a councilor, and ultimately I landed the topmost position. That makes me a barangay captain.
Did you try other ventures, other fields, other jobs starting out?
Not
Or
much.
even, or maybe business or
No.
some other field?
Uh, well, we have in Leyte, we have small farm. We do have, well, we have vast, my family, my grandparents own a vast tract of lands. So we are into farming also. We have rice, cocoa plantation, and before we used to have a piggery, but not much right now. But still, and every now and then we do get share from all the earnings there.
How do you think we can level up in terms of Cebu to perhaps reach Manila level? I know Cebu is still somewhat quite behind. How do we get to that level in terms of the money flowing in and out, the development?
Well, Cebu is in a very unique situation. You know, before, long before you were born, you know, Philippines. When you talk about Manila, it has a very negative connotation because power supply is not stable, peace and order is not really, you know, there. So that's why that gives birth to, if you recall, that gives birth to Cebu. With our packaging there of Cebu during Lito Osmeña time was Cebu was an island in the Pacific. So that gives birth also to Cebu Pacific. Uh, and right now in Cebu, it's a very the location in Cebu is very strategic, not only to the Mindanao and other Visayas area, but also in the Luzon area. That's why Cebu is quite favorite also when it comes to convention, because it's very you know when you travel by vessel, everything is in Cebu. That's why all the big shipping lines are from Cebu. When you travel also by plane, well, we have the best airport in Cebu, and the airport is a destination in itself. So that's something that we can take pride of Cebu. And not only that, Cebu City in particular, this is the birth of Christianity, and this is where the heritage are situated. No? But to me, we're not really able to maximize its full potential when we talk about heritage. So that is something where the CHOW and CHAC office, the Cultural Heritage Office, and the tourism has to focus on, because we only package Cebu when it comes to heritage only in Gabi sa Gabilin. That's one night in 365 days. And I'm looking at celebrating it, start it once a week. And you know, it's really shall we say, conducive to explore our heritage in the city during nighttime. Because during daytime, init man kayo, you know. Sometimes tourists are not used to the scorching heat of the sun, and it's better to travel and visit all these historical spot during nighttime. Plus, with the lights, it adds more drama to it, no. So yeah, and then also with the, I hope the action mayor, Raymond Alvin Garcia, right now can really proceed with the development of Mega Wide or Cebu to the World, somewhere there in the Puso Village, near the the museum, because when that connects, that's the one thing that is lacking with all our museum and heritage areas in that site, because they need some place to dine, some place to buy some souvenirs, and to me that is the perfect answer, so that every night it will be dynamic in the area. And then when you talk about dynamic economy, business, sprout in the area, so that's good for the economy also.
Because my impression of Cebu ever since was it's a good balance. There's good business, there's good development, but you can also access quickly Mactan
Yeah,
and the mountains. So it's like you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's one thing that Manila people cannot enjoy, because after
Yeah.
30 minutes, you're there at the beach. And then, of course, you go to the mountain, just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a small version, but we also have our share of traffic. We have also our share of floods. We have also our share of our solid waste management.
But I hope we can develop maybe a subway in the future. Would that be a lucrative proposition? Or something equal to the Skyway?
Yeah, that's the way to go actually. But right now, when we talk about BRT, it's just something, just there in the middle of the road, and it took like almost 3 decades to do it.
Yeah.
Somehow, we never get our acts together. But you know what? As early as 1901 or 1904, we already have a train from Argao going to Danao. No, so that's
back
around 100 kilometers. So way back then, the Americans really put all this infrastructure, but unfortunately during the World War II, that's usually the target of the Japanese, invader there, and so sad that the Cebuanos were not able to rehabilitate the said train railways.
Okay. I think the challenge with Cebu is the implementation and the execution, because there are so many plans, but the actual carrying
You're
out
right.
of these plans, there
I
needs to
agree.
be
I agree.
some strong will to get things done.
The way I look at it, when you talk about development, we talk about roads, when you talk about mass transport, NEDA, and in cooperation also with JICA and other investors. So everything is very scientific. It goes to a study, and the feasibility study and everything. And then somehow when politicians join, somehow it change. Somehow the technocrat, those who are responsible in conceiving this good idea, somehow they change. And somehow pressure from politics or people in the political arena is so hard that somehow they change the plan, and that's what makes
I
it
think because
difficult.
of opposing agendas, so sometimes
There's no continuity.
yeah, different
Very sad. Very sad.
narratives, different agenda.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but in other very progressive countries, projects such as
Yeah,
this, no,
first world usually.
yeah,
Like, they get things done fast.
they're insulated by political atmosphere. No, they're insulated by that. So, regardless of who is at the helm, but you have to continue with this. Everyone has to continue with this. There must be continuity, and that is something lacking.
Yeah, and there's a constant push and pull that we face here.
But one thing good also, the CCLEX, it was conceived prior to the Duterte administration, but it but then again, that was a PPP. That was a public-private partnership. It's different when it is funded by government, but that was private. That's
Yeah, still different story.
a different story.
But still, quite a milestone for
Yeah.
Cebu having that amazing bridge
Yeah,
and the
you're
new
right.
star and this
Maulian.
developments.
Yeah, we are proud of it, and I'm looking at, just like I just came from Tacloban early this year. there was this budget from the tourism office that really put lights, really amazing lights. And if only they can put that there at Sisilex, it would be more beautiful.
We need more lights.
Yeah, lights, and it's moving, constant changing of colors, whatever is the motif, whatever is the occasion. It's
There's
very nice.
more of
very-
a wow effect with the
Yes,
lights. Because I travel frequently in other parts. Like I went to Cagayan, Davao. I see it's still very dark at night. They lack lampposts, so it's still behind. But I think in terms of land area, Davao is still quite spacious. There's still a lot of room to grow. Whereas Cebu, it's quite congested, especially in the main hub, main city.
You're right. I was in Cagayan also. The roads are really nice, no? When you're in the city
to
or from the
drive.
airport, there are a lot of alternative where you want to go. And I mean, that speak true also with Mindanao roads there. It's very wide. But that's also the problem with an old city. That's also the problem with an old city. Usually, planning is not really that good.
But perhaps we can emphasize south, more development, setting up south, north, and these neighboring parts. No?
And also, I'm looking also at the hinterlands because Cebu City, 80% of them are mountain and only 20% of lowland. That's why we have the North Reclamation, we have the South Reclamation, because we have a very limited space in the lowland. But the problem here, of the 20%, 80% of the population are residing in the lowland. Well, only 20% of those residing, the 80% space are there in the mountain. So we really need also to develop in the mountain areas. We have to maximize also what it's like to be living there and what it's like to do business there. And we have to improve our road network in the, especially in the southern part of the mountain areas in Cebu City.
How are the numbers looking economically? Like jobs, growth?
I'm not into that.
Because I think it's booming, I would presume,
Yes.
after the pandemic, and we see a lot of establishments coming back,
Yeah,
different industries. So how is it now?
Well, if you compare it like 3-4 years ago, there's really a very big development difference. But then if we compare this prior to pandemic, I think we haven't yet reached where we want.
Pre-pandemic
Yeah,
levels,
the
not yet.
pre-pandemic. I think we haven't, because there are still business who are still not open. No, but I know there are a lot of new businesses also. But we are in that direction. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Given we came from a pandemic, well, we're recovered now, but pandemic plus Odette, so we were
Yeah, grabe.
very badly battered during 2021, 2022, that period of time. How did Cebuanos remain resilient? How did everyone cope? How did you all handle all those difficulties? Kay double whammy to, di ba? Kay typhoon plus ongoing
Not only that,
pandemic.
right after the typhoon, there was gasoline.
Yeah, plus
price
the
was-
price hike.
Oh,
di ba?
price
It was
hike,
so
grabe.
expensive.
I think it has something to do with our spirit, no? We're very resilient people, no? And even during history, Cebu City has been battered by typhoon every now and then.
You mentioned Ruping earlier.
That was my first taste of what it's like to be a responder, no? And yeah, and then, you know what? In my experience also, Cebu goes, especially in government and businessmen in Cebu, they go where it needs help. No, we went to Bohol, we went to Leyte when there were problems in the Ormoc flood, and then we went to Bohol. In fact, just few months ago, we went to the volcanic
assistance, no?
assistance.
Additional aid.
But when there's a tragedy and when there's a big disaster in Cebu, like typhoon or what, we also receive a lot of helps from other areas. And when there was Yolanda, I was a barangay captain in 2013. I was the first barangay to receive the first evacuees from Tacloban. That the first plane that landed here from Tacloban, it goes straight to the mostly women and children, went straight to my Tinago gym. And that's the first experience by the DSWD here in Region 7 where we were able to cater evacuees from other areas, from other regions for that matter. And there was this problem on, of course, the dialect, the language being used, they're Waray. And I'm lucky enough because I understand Waray because my father is Waray. No, he knows Waray. So they stay here for 55 days, and they were able to really enjoy the hospitality and how we Cebuanos took care of them. And to think we never spend money using the government coffers, just help from the business sector, from people, all walks of life. They come to and extend help. So I think that's the beauty, and that's our strength also, being Cebuano.
How would you describe the present generation now? Because we live in a very fast-paced society. TikTok generation, di ba? Everything is online. Everything is accessible. Push of a button. Lazada, Grab. But generationally, I think it's a very different way of life. So how would you compare then and now?
You know what? I just came from a meeting with preschoolers for daycare center. Because for sure, when they are in school with the daycare workers, they have no access to cell phone. So that's one thing that's good. Because I know for a fact, in order to pacify kids, you just give them cell phone. And which is a big, big, big no.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, cell phone will really control your kids. And before you do your act, it might be too late. During my days, we don't have any cell phone. But during our days, during Sinulog, when we say we meet in this area, we meet right across Iglesia ni Cristo with all right there and then, at time, we're all present. But right now, in the presence of
Spoiled na because it's very easy to just chat.
the presence with the cell phone, I'm
Mga
coming, I'm on my way. You have a wide array of reason why you are not being there. And to me, especially when you're having dinner with your family, that was supposed to be an avenue where you can talk. But right now, when you're in the table, everybody is using their phone. No?
The attention is mostly
And
there.
people also in driving, even in motorbikes, mabal-habal, they cannot resist but also like take their call or do the texting while driving. To me, technology is there to unite us, to connect us. But this very technology somehow disconnect us.
Yeah, there are cons also. Pros and cons, no?
Yeah,
that come
yeah.
with it.
So we should regulate, and we should start with the young. We should start with preschoolers. So I've been telling the parents there, like, you have to help because if you just allow that, you're not going to regulate the proper use of technology. And there are also downside on it. People, like if you go to a restaurant, the first thing you order is not even in the menu. It's Wi-Fi. So, and the acts are also weird. Like, I don't know.
The selfies? Or
Yeah, the
the
selfies,
Gen
like,
Z way of
well,
selfie.
I'm also into selfies. No problem with that. But I just saw a girl there goes to a restaurant all by herself, and she just take all this picture and then, as if nobody was watching her. So it's a different world there.
I think there are dangers of being too self-absorbed that we lose focus on the more essential and the simpler things.
And
the
also,
simpler values of life.
and also one thing I observe also, everything is at the snap of a finger. You talk about information, knowledge, it's there, it's in the palm of your hand. During my time, you have to really wake up early and go to the library and line up, and then, everybody's lining up just to get, books, which is also, being asked by your teacher, make a research. And right now, the present generation right now, like, everything is so fast. Everything is so fast. Like when you want to order something, you don't have to wait back. You order. There are deliveries. When you want to order books, when you want to order anything, it will be delivered right
So
at your
in a way,
doorstep.
it makes us lazier or gives us shorter attention spans.
But yeah, but then again, when you graduate, when the present generation graduate, and then when they first perhaps experience that they're being denied or they're being neglected or they were not able to pass the interview whatsoever, somehow that's the problem. Their coping mechanism is not like us before, you know? So that's why I'm sorry, but I haven't. Depression right now is I know it's a disease. I know it's a disease, but we really need to address that also. And
Yeah.
the one thing that aggravates perhaps depression is
What they see on social media.
social media. It added, and to me, the very core of it is the strength of the family should be there. The communication should be open.
intact, right?
Like when kids having problem, it will not be a problem for them to approach any member of your family. I think that's and somehow to me, this technology somehow put
I
a
think it adds pressure because I think most people they post what's perceived as good life, but sometimes they're merely projecting.
yeah
But real life, of course, isn't always glitz and glamour. But sometimes they're able to compare what they see and they feel all the more depressed when they
you're right.
seek out that validation from people
You're
through
right.
the likes. And the likes have become like serotonin, right? Or like or
The like seems
mood
to be more
boosters.
yeah
Gives you that
yeah
high,
yeah.
like makes you feel validated.
It's like the likes earned in every post is to them is more important than the assurance that are given to them by their parents or their family members. To me, you have to to do a balance there. You have to have open communication.
Yeah. But I agree with you with what you mentioned on regulating.
Yeah,
Certainly, it could go overboard, and there's no objective measure to put a stop to certain things.
yeah,
Because like now, anyone has the freedom to post anything,
just
and it
anything.
could be detrimental to the community, to society. So
Yeah,
there are many dangers.
internet is one of the best invention. No? Just like the plastic. Plastic in the 20th century, that's one of the best invention because it makes our lives easier, more sanitary and everything. But it's also the cost of,
Yeah,
uh,
I think
people tend not to use it properly and throw it
yeah,
indiscriminately. It could also
it
be a
could
source of
be
a problem.
misused.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's still an element of responsibility we play.
Yes.
Like there's new progress, there's technological advancements, but on the other hand, to lessen whatever headache, we still need to focus, play our part, and
Mogid. Yeah.
keep a close eye that it doesn't go south or make things worse for us
Yeah, yeah.
because it could backfire, right?
Mogid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always limit and you need to regulate because too much use of it, uh, yeah,
Yeah, anything in
it's
excess
dangerous.
is dangerous.
It's also dangerous.
Okay. On a lighter note, what are some of your hobbies or
Well,
sports or a
yeah,
special diet or
diet.
pastime or books or any
Well,
Netflix shows or movies?
well, before, I love basketball, but I have no intention of being in the big league. No, no. But I did a lot of running. I was one, perhaps, of the very first who do ultra running in Cebu.
Okay.
I've run just about anywhere. I've run like more than 12 times international race.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, I did long distance running. I ran
You've run a marathon many times.
28 times
Oh, wow.
the marathon. I've run 7 100 kilometers. Yeah.
That's a lot of mileage.
I've done 100 miles. I did my 100 miles in Singapore. But my worst and really most difficult race when I ran the 100-kilometer Vibram trail race in Hong Kong. I lost 5 kilos that particular race.
One race,
One
5
race,
kilos.
5
So
kilos.
that's over 10 pounds.
Yes. Yes. And when I crossed the finish line, my wife wasn't even able to recognize me. That was in the early 2011,
So much younger pa.
12.
Much younger times.
Yeah. I started running quite late in my 40s already. In my 40s. And yeah, I was really into it. Like, I ran Goho to Cebu. I ran Tabuelan to Cebu City. So it's quite far. But I'm not really a fast runner. But my best time was in Singapore, the crazy race. Sundown. I did it in 13:01. 13 hours and 1 minute for my 100 kilometers. Yeah, but I stopped right after pandemic. I stopped. That's why I gained like 20 pounds, 25 pounds right now compared to my running weight.
There are many races now in Cebu.
Yeah,
Always
races are start to bloom.
Every month.
Yeah, not only every month, but pre-pandemic, there's a weekly race here in Cebu. Yeah, it's a good running site, especially the CCLX. That's one thing that they don't have from other place.
But
That's why
painful.
Sinulog is
Going uphill.
yeah.
Can be
That's why
painful.
Sinulog is really something that our runners all over the country are trying to look forward.
Okay. Me, I just started running.
That's good.
Last year. Maybe I can get tips from you. Yeah. I've been joining like 12K, 10K.
That's good. You know what? I've been lecturing also about running before, but there's one thing that I cannot really I don't really understand. Like, in running, say, listen to your body. Yeah, that's why you always get that. But then there's also this thing like
Push.
like ignore pain. You can do it.
I think you need to assess carefully, right? There are many dangers.
You know what? I've run more than 50 races, no, or even more than that. When I start, when I appear at the starting line, the next step is the finish line. And so far, all the races that I've joined, I crossed the finish line. And there was one thing during April 3, that's Leon Kilat. We always have this tribute to him that we ran from Cebu City, from Parian, where the Val San Diego old house. We run going to Karkar. And then somewhere near San Fernando, na-slide ko there's a deep ravine, murag imburnal man to ba. Wala gi-cover. I got like, sustako, kaya akong,
You got a cut.
I got a cut here, like grabe kayo ang dugo pa. In fact, Dr. Mangkao was the medical director at the time during that race. Wala, nagsunod na ko ang ambulansya because I refused to ride in the ambulance. And there's last 13 kilometers. I just took an ice and everything, and I finished the race. That's how stupid I am.
But it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. Leon Kilat, I mean, you the tribute to Leon Kilat, and then what Leon Kilat has gone through, and then what about, it's just petty cut, temporary.
Just deal with it after.
Yeah, 13 kilometers. Ako, butang lang ko until I finished the race. So, before, at any given time, as long as I have enough rest, I can run a full marathon at any given time. Because rest is really something that needs to be done before you embark into something that is, excruciating like a marathon. Rest. Proper rest na good ba? Proper rest.
I think that challenging with running is the mind. I think
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
cope
yeah,
with
yeah,
some pain, but
Yeah.
that resilience to move forward. Sometimes it gets boring or it
You know,
gets
there's a monkey who's been hanging around you like,
yeah.
yo, you stop now, you stop
Yeah,
now.
there's
Undang na
that.
ka.
There's two voices telling you to go, telling you to stop. Like next time na, or like
I have
paway na.
shared to you when I ran that 100 miles, 160 kilometers in Singapore. And I have with friends with me also running, but they only run the 100. So the turning point is the 80 kilometers. And, after the 50, so they go back. So I have to go to the next 30 before I can go back to where we started because the finish and the starting line is around the same area. When I s- when I reached my 80 kilometer, which is the turning point, which is the half point, there was already a bus waiting. Like, if you want to ride, you take the bus. Going back there, like,
Tintal.
oh,
Tempting to.
tintal ka ba? Tintal juga ba niya? And then there were food in the bus already that will take you there. Like, then I just, kalimot ko nga naman day ko'y apple nga no? Kanang something, katong apple bitaw sa una nga, for radio ba?
AirPod?
AirPod ba? AirPod.
AirPods.
AirPods man ito. And then naman ko'y nasa ko'y akong mga music dito, it's Duran Duran, A View to a Kill. No?
Yeah, that James Bond music.
Pag tukar lang ko ba, like, first song ba? Tang, tang. Matay mo ako na.
Bangon.
It's just how you play your mind. Like, yun kay, knowingly nga, na nasa kay 80 kilometro mo na gano'n. You have to, you just reach halfway pa good, 80 kilometers. So, sometimes you think of something how you entertain yourself ba. Like when I ran the trail run sa Hong Kong, you're all by yourself. Kagabi naman, you have just light there, and then when you navigate the jungle, you traverse a forest mo dito area. When you saw the roots ba yung mga gamot, they start moving. It's like they're snake. You start to hallucinate sad because you're all by yourself na. No?
Yeah,
spread out naman kayo.
I understand trail running is more challenging because it's not just flat because you have to go uphill.
Yeah.
And it's rough on the surface.
And there was this needle hill. It's really a needle hill. Like when I start climbing up, like I really want to give up. But when you give up, nobody will take you there. You need a chopper to pick you up. No? So when you see the lights going there, like, and then what really boosts your confidence is when you start looking at your back. You also saw a lot of lights there, like daghan sa gayo nagsunod sa nimo. No? So, it's the mental toughness. In running, it's more than the body because you train for it. But the mental toughness is not something really, to me, it's 90% mental. Because the body, you've been training every day, right? You've been running every day. So it's there. It's how you convince your muscles that, you have to go on, you have to run on.
Do you listen to music when running, or can you run without music? Or
Well, there are times that I have, but recently, no more music. Wala na. Dili na ko music. Usay, music also has its own has its own difficulties. No? Like there was one time I ran a trail run also. Then, in trail run, it's how you appreciate the sign, where to go. And so I took the left lane. And then I was like 20 meters or 30 meters. People at my back been shouting, like, you're on the wrong route. And somebody throw something at me. When I saw them, so ito nibalik ko. So just imagine if I was not hit by a stone or what, so diretso so I'll be lost. So sometimes there's also the problem in you isolate yourself. So it's better really to listen the surroundings there. It's very nice.
any future ventures or new projects that you're planning to embark on? Future plans?
Well, right now, I have 4 kids and all of them finished already their studies. And yeah, I just have to enjoy myself right now with my with my family. No, my eldest is in New York right now. He's also into cyber crime specialist technology, and my daughter also right now she'll be graduating next month in Tokyo. She took a masteral. She's a lawyer. She got a scholarship then. And then my son just me graduated in ICA, Academy of International Culinary Arts. And he's also into cooking. At the same time, he has also an online work. And my daughter, my youngest, just graduated from Siliman University for Foreign Affairs. And she's with me right now because as you grow old, you don't own your kids anymore. So they have also their own lives. Though I don't have a grandkid as of now, which
Your kids are all married?
not yet, not yet. But they're all grown-ups already. I have a 29, 28, 27. I have a 24-year-old kid. No? So you're not married, right?
I am. The past few years,
Out of 5 years.
quite recent.
Yeah, wala pa yung namin yun. So, it would have been better if na ako'y apo. No, to make
Excited na
excited na ba? No, so right now, I've been in public service for 35 years. No, but yeah, all my life, all my adult life, I've been into public service. So I guess try just to be chill about it with my family because my priority before was more on really in doing service. So right now I got to enjoy more with my kids.
How many kids you have?
I have 4.
4 their sons and daughters.
2 sons and 2 daughters.
So a good balance.
Boy, girl, boy, girl.
But with potential in-laws soon.
Yeah.
Or still assessing.
No, it's their choice. It's their choice. We just have to support whatever is their choice. No, I have no qualms with that. I have no qualms.
Okay. No requirements like
No
must be
requirement.
this.
No. It's just that they have to do it earlier.
Para nanay apo. Okay.
Patay apo.
All right. Regarding facing the many challenges, uncertainties of life, how do you stay positive or how do you stay motivated in moving forward, in facing the many trials we face?
I've been facing not just a mere trial, but a life and death situation. And it's not just me, but it involves my family. In fact, I tend to forget that, but somehow it makes our bond as a family stronger. I don't have to narrate everything, but it was just a split few seconds. It could spell our lives. No? But then we were able to.
I mean, all of you?
Yeah,
There was an event? Or
It
an
was an
incident?
event, yeah. And it makes us stronger as a family. So if we were able to survive that, so I don't see any reason why any obstacles cannot be hurdled. And also recently during the pandemic, when I was at the helm in the COVID response, I was one of the very first who got COVID. My wife also
The
got
strong
it.
variant?
The strong variant.
Delta
Earlier. That
was
was
this,
in
or
May. No, that was in May. That's,
Delta or the earlier
no,
one?
the earlier one. The earlier one. And I got to be isolated for a month. And my wife had to be hospitalized and stay there for almost 2 weeks. And my wife has asthma, severe asthma. And her veins are really very small. And good, she signed a waiver that she refused to be intubated. Had she been intubated, that could be a different result. And that was also one of the things, like, we always look back and my kids are there in the house all by themselves. We were able to survive it. And then not only that my family were able to survive it, I was also at the helm in solving also the problem of the city. for our COVID response. I have a lot of neighbors and where I live died because of that, and I was able to arrange for their burial and everything. I have friends, so those pandemic days somehow, it it teach me a lesson like you must be grateful what you have. You don't try to aspire more. You must be grateful what you have and enjoy because time is not on our side. No, just like what happened during the pandemic, daghan kayong nangamatay ato they didn't know that that was their end. No, so I try to enjoy with my family. I try to enjoy what I've been doing and try to help and extend whatever help uh, as task, as being an elected official. So yeah, I have also my own trials also in my political career. I ran for city councilor 4 times before I made it.
Oh,
Before I made it. So for 3 times in a span of 3 times in a span of 15 years. 15 years. I no 12 years. I lost 3 times. I always landed the number 9. No, it's very hard. But then I stood up and then ran again. Then on my 4th attempt, then I became a counselor. But then on my second time as a counselor, I didn't make it. In 2019, I was number 10 in 2019. So I did not make it. So I was only good for 1 term. But then 2 of the counselors that were elected was suspended. They were dismissed. No? So, ni Saka ko. So I got elected. I took the last spot at number 8. No? So that was, and only to realize that I was accorded with that responsibility to address COVID. So I was already out of the picture and I was put back because there were 2 candidates who were suspended. So, you know, you know, that's the mystery of life, no? Wala na ka, pero ibalik ka, gitagaan ka, dako kayong trabaho. Which is, we face an enemy where we never had we're facing a blank wall at the time. We don't know really what to do. No, but somehow we were able to hurdle everything. So, I've been through a lot.
what are your spiritual or religious views? How do you approach, or do you believe there's an afterlife, or
Well,
what's your outlook on
I
it?
grew up as a Catholic, no? Elementary, I was Colegio del Santo Niño. But in my high school and college days, in UP, so we never got to pray manggod sa classrooms namo, no? But I'm a firm believer also, you just do have to do good. When my father died in 1994, this is, mao ra gini yang gisulti na ako. Ayaw gid paminta. I mean, that's a simple line, like ayaw gid paminta. So I always abide by that. Di lang jud ka mamintaha, and then you do good, then I don't have excesses, the good things in life. Well, I work hard for it. And then I just need time for my family and enjoy.
What gives your life meaning and purpose?
Well, I have a 90-year-old mama. And then every now and then, she always listen to the radio. Somehow she has an understanding of what I've been doing. And every time I visited her, every time I talked to her, like, she's abreast with all the issues. And that's something that I look forward, like, if we follow the natural order of things, no? Nauna man siya yung kinabuhi, siyempre, musunod siya sa akong papa. God forbid, ayaw sa, no? But then again, I just want that he hear the good things that's been happening to her kids and to her grandkids. No, she's also been through a lot. No, she raised 6 kids, and right now she's starting to enjoy also with her grandkid.
Do you go by any life motto or philosophy?
Ah, well, I follow what my father has been telling me. You just be fair. You just be fair. Uh, well, I think my life is also an open book. Like I stood up, and then when I saw some injustices, I always do that. Like I think I'm the only barangay captain who has served 11 warrant of arrest. When I was a barangay captain, I got tired of this machine, gambling machine, that really make school kids addicted to it. So ako nang sunog tanan, right? And then the you know those who are running these illegal machines, they file cases left and right, and they try to think of cases like like I was accused of frustrated murder. I was accused of kidnapping. I was accused of serious physical injuries, but all of them were dismissed. But then that was also a test of me. When you stood up something, you should be ready that you.
Yeah, there's warfare if you
No,
usually
there's this
stand up
respect.
for convictions.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes convictions is not a luxury. You must have the solid foundation to really stood.
Yeah,
No.
may prinsipyo.
Oh, and then
Kailangan.
I learned it the hard way, really. Grabe kaya akong agian, like unsi ka warrant of arrest every other week na mo nga na good ug akura. Because before the court can acquire jurisdiction over you, it's either that isud ka sa prisuhan or you file the corresponding bail. But there are also other people that were close to me, like mga barangay tanods nako, mga konsehal nako. They are also being accused. The same accusation that is ako. So I have to protect them. I have to pay for all of them. So I owe money to a lot of people just to buy my freedom. No? But then at the end of the day, after 2-3 years, nahuman raman, na-dismiss raman. I went to the States as early as 2000, year 2000. I worked gamay dito. Dili ko dingon work, but a very close family friend, just for me staying there, has been giving me money, which I used to pay for all my debts, which in raising my kaning piyansa nila, no, so bail. So that was it. When you want to stood up for something, you really have the balls to back it up. Like when I stood up when I closed the Inayawan landfill, and I stood up against the mayor. To me, it's an environment issue. And no lawyers would accept to represent me because, they don't want to be part that they might suffer the backlash. That's why I hire lawyers not from Cebu, from Leyte. But, environment won. So we won there. So sometimes you have to really
To fight for the harder things.
yeah.
Meaningful things.
Yeah.
Any message you would like to impart to fellow Cebuanos or whoever might come across this video in the future?
Well,
Or advice out there to people struggling in whatever career path or whatever situation they might be in?
yeah, we're in hard times actually. No, we are under a very difficult situation, but we hurdle all of this natural calamities, man-made. We hurdle all of this. You just have to keep going. You just have to don't stop. You just have to keep going. Somewhere along the way, you find results, but you cannot find results if you will be stagnant. Like sometimes a bad runner Express to me the difference between a good runner and a bad runner. A bad runner, when he falls, he sit back and cry out. Well, a good runner would stand up and run on. Because it is not in falling or in fail, but not standing up to correct and run on. So, like me, I attempted to run for city council many times, 3 times. And on the 4th time, but every time I fall, I not make it, I stood up. You can never hear me complaining like there were, there were, there were, you know, there were, there were, there were election fraud. You can never hear it. I will never
You don't
say that.
whine.
I don't whine. In fact, the first time I didn't make it, I asked my daughter, lawyer now, who was an 8-year-old at that time, to deliver my conceit speech, concession speech. I was standing beside her. Yeah, you did a good job. We're not going to be able to make it. So, in the second try, okay again. But on the 3rd try, my mother cried already. Stop! Don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Still, I ran.
What made you stronger throughout
Yeah,
this
yeah.
journey?
If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger. But my kids now, I asked them, told them not to venture into public service. You can do public good without getting into it.
Okay. What's the best and worst time throughout your whole journey?
Best, I don't say it's the best and the worst. It makes it the best because you've been through the worst. So it's more, it's, it's a lot better because you've been through it. Life to me is like a series of ups and downs. But somehow, you only experience the ups, but you can never feel really the beauty of what's there.
You don't go through the downs.
So to me, I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I don't say it's the worst because that paved way for something better. I accept everything, like what happened to me. I say more.
You don't fear failure. You accept and learn from the failures.
Failure is a lesson. You should look at it as a lesson. And hope you're gonna learn from it.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
an interesting conversation, Counselor. More power to you sa future endeavors. Look forward to seeing you more. Take care.
Thank you.